On June 12, 2026, the world witnessed a moment that had never happened before in human history. A single person crossed a net worth of $1 trillion. If a person spent $1 every second, it would take about 31,000 years to spend $1 trillion. That entire amount belonged to one man named Elon Musk. Musk has been known for years through Tesla, SpaceX, and the Platform X. His wealth journey has moved like a roller coaster. In 2019, his net worth was around $20 billion. After a Tesla stock split, his fortune grew rapidly, and he became the first person ever recognized as a centibillionaire, meaning someone worth over $100 billion. By December 2024, he crossed $400 billion. Through 2025 and early 2026, he kept breaking milestone after milestone, touching $500 billion, $600 billion, $700 billion, $800 billion, and $900 billion. Only one target remained ahead of him, and that was the $1 trillion mark. That moment finally arrived on June 12, 2026. SpaceX, which had always been a private company, listed publicly on the Nasdaq under the ticker SPCX. The stock opened at $150 per share, and the company was valued near $2 trillion. This was not just another listing. It became the largest public offering in history. SpaceX raised close to $75 billion through this listing, which was more than 2.5 times bigger than the previous record set by Saudi Aramco in 2019. At that point, Musk held about 4.8 billion shares of SpaceX worth more than $715 billion, along with 350 million stock options worth roughly $50 billion. His total stake in the company stood near 38%. This single listing added more than $188 billion to his fortune in a single day and made him the first person in history to reach a net worth of $1 trillion. But this was only the beginning of the story. A few days later, on June 16, SpaceX shares jumped 40% in a single trading day, pushing Musk's fortune to a record peak of about $1.45 trillion. In finance, there is a lesson that must never be forgotten. Wealth that exists on paper can be extremely volatile. Within the following week, SpaceX stock dropped by 31%. On top of that, new restrictions were placed on $116 billion worth of his Tesla shares. As a result, by June 24, his net worth fell to around $962 billion, and he lost his trillionaire status. Just 5 days later, on June 29, both SpaceX and Tesla stocks rallied strongly. SpaceX rose about 7.6%, and Tesla rose about 8.6%, adding more than $62 billion to his net worth in a single day. He regained his trillionaire status once again. Within only 17 days, he became a trillionaire, lost that status, and then reclaimed it. This shows the real nature of modern billionaire wealth today. There is an important financial lesson hidden inside this story. The $1 trillion Musk holds is not sitting in a bank account as cash. Most of it exists in the form of SpaceX and Tesla stock. SpaceX shares currently carry a lockup period, which means he cannot simply sell them whenever he wants. So being a trillionaire on paper does not mean having $1 trillion in spendable cash. His actual liquid wealth is far smaller than his paper fortune. This concept applies to every investor, not just Musk. The value of a stock portfolio and the amount of real spendable cash are two very different things. When the market dropped, his wealth fell by around $240 billion in a single week, which is roughly equal to the entire value of a company like IBM. That is how much a stock price swing can change a fortune. The story does not end here. According to SpaceX filings, Musk could receive 1 billion additional restricted shares in the future if the company hits 15 major valuation milestones, including a final target of reaching a valuation of $7.5 trillion and establishing a permanent human colony on Mars, with at least 1 million people living there. It sounds like science fiction, but it is an actual legally binding compensation structure. Meanwhile, competition is rising as well. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg are both being discussed on prediction markets as possible candidates to become the next trillionaire. The financial world is now watching closely to see who reaches this milestone next. This has been the story of the world's first trillionaire. It shows how a single IPO can rewrite financial history. It shows how wealth can rise and fall within days. And it shows why being paper rich is very different from having real spendable cash. If you found this breakdown useful, please like this video, share it with people interested in finance, and subscribe to the channel for more real-world finance stories. Let us know in the comments who you think will become the next trillionaire. See you in the next video.